And we talked about this last week. And this is why I didn't get to it last week, but I wanted to get to it today so we conclude that conversation on morning. It was my father's death. In all my 11 years of podcasting, think about it, I've never spoken about my father's death. You can't find the podcast. I just say he died of a fucking heart attack. Well, today we're going to fucking tell you what really fucking happened so you guys know what was eating away at Gilbert Grape all these fucking years. You know what I'm saying? What was making Joey Diaz pick his fucking face? What was making me spend 80% of my salary? What was doing all these things to me was the death of my father. Me, I didn't want to do the work. See, I was like you guys. I didn't want to do the work. I just blamed it on the easiest thing. The death of my mother, a bad breakup. We always assume it's that big thing. In the back of your mind, you're like, oh, sure, I'm fucking getting high. I'm in pain. You know, my mother died. My father died. My brother got taken in a car accident. But there's something that led you to that bridge. You didn't just get to that bridge by itself. There's something that got you there. Yes, that event is traumatizing and stuff. But there's, you know, like when there's an earthquake, there's always small earthquakes afterward. Aftershocks. This is called before shocks. Something happened before that you didn't really process. We're going to talk about this a lot because I think the big problem with us as human beings, especially now during the pandemic, is that we haven't gotten in touch with ourselves. This is what's helped me so fucking much as a human being. When people say to me, you know, what, dog, I'm telling you right now, yes, getting off the drugs was a big plus for me, the cocaine and all that shit. But the bigger angle for me was getting to know who I was and getting to know what made me tick. That's bigger than a college degree. That's bigger than a religious experience. That's the biggest thing you could do for yourself, is finding out what really makes you tick, why you do the things that you do. So now it explains, and now it makes your apology a lot easier to people. I apologize to people all the time. I'm a human being. I'm not fucking perfect by no means. I make mistakes. I live in my fucking head. I say weird things. So I have made, since I went to prison, I learned that I had to come to terms and I had to take responsibility for my fucking actions. You have to take responsibility for your actions, no matter how simple it is. So I fell in love with the apology. I was such a fuck up that I fell in love with the apology. My dick gets hard when I look you in the eye and apologize to you. My dick gets hard when I look you in the eye and I can be honest with you. Sorry, I got an itchy fucking calf. It's so fucking dry around here that my fucking legs are all dry and shit. You know, my dick gets hard from apologizing to people. It makes me that much stronger. It pulls a huge weight off me. I did things early on in my life that I stopped doing, and then when I stopped getting high, I went back to that process, and it made my life that much easier. When I was a sophomore in fucking high school, right after my mother died, a girl came up to me one day, a really cute girl. Everybody loved this girl. They thought she was really hot. She came up to me and she said, "Hey, man, you have a friend that's really cute. I don't want to hook up with him, but I want it to be kept discreet. Is there any way we could do this?" I go, "We could do whatever, however you want to do it." She goes, "I broke up with my boyfriend, and I don't want him to find out. I don't want anybody to find out. And I know you're dear friends with him. Can you hook me up with him?" And I go, "Yeah, you know, for you, I'll do anything." She goes, "And I'm going to do something for you. I'm showing up with a girl, so you could, she just broke up with her boyfriend, and she wants to hook up with you. Would you mind? Do you like her? What do you think of her?" I'm like, "Do I like her? I think she's fucking beautiful, you know?" She had broken up with her boyfriend. They had been broken up for about a month and a half. Now I was fucking 16 years old, 17 years old. Mother was dead already. Okay? Problems were already starting. But who my mother raised me to be was still intact at that time. She had just died, so it hadn't really affected me. I was just going on with my life. She had broken up with this kid, and the kid was a tough dude. The kid was a tough dude, and he was a good dude. That was the other thing about this. He was a good fucking dude. So I called the girl up. I go, listen, man, we're going to hook it up. Me and my buddy are going to meet you and her. You know, we'll get a car. We were young. I mean, we were going to like get beers and maybe hang out and smoke a joint. It wasn't about sex. I mean, we were young. It was basically, I knew that the girl that I was going to hook up with, I knew she was having sex already because I knew her for a few years. She had a few boyfriends, and, you know, they were long-lasting relationships. You know, like once she dated a kid like in the 8th grade for a year, and then in high school she dated another guy for like 2 years. She had broken up with that guy. When I called her that night, and I'm like, hey, we're going to do this, but before we could do this, I got to do something. And I'll call you back. So the next day at school, the kid's name was Fernando, rest in peace. I went up to him. He's like, hey, how you doing? I go, can I talk to you for a second? And he goes, what's up? I go, listen, man, I know that you and your girlfriend just broke up, but I've always had kind of feelings for her. His fucking face went pale. His fucking face went pale. I go, I have kind of feelings for her, and I hope that you don't mind if I take her on a date. And I told the kid, me and her, and you know, it's a double date. I hope that you find it somewhere in your heart that you think it's cool. He went fucking pale. He was a Spanish guy, Latin machismo, you know, the whole thing. He's like, if I was you, I wouldn't fucking do it, and I would watch my fucking back, you know? And I go, wow, this is weird that by being honest, somebody gets mad at you. So by him saying, watch your back, that really fucking pissed me off. Like, I'm not like, now I'm going to have to fucking do it because the guy's threatening me. I'm trying to be a fucking man here at 16, 17, and this guy's telling me to watch my fucking back. So he was a year older than me. I'm like, all right, we'll see what fucking happens. Something happened. I think my mother died, and me and that girl were supposed to hook up that night, the week before Halloween, like a week before Halloween, and that was the night that I stayed out late, and my mother smacked me when I got home at 6 a.m. She ended up at a different party. We never hooked up. So after my mother died, that kid came to my mother's wake, and he goes, can I talk to you for a second? He goes, hey, man, I threatened you that day. I want to take it back because I didn't realize what you were doing. You came up to me like a man. Most guys don't even have the balls to do what you did. You came up to me like a fucking man and asked me if you'd go out with her on a date. He goes, I'm sorry about your mom, and you have my blessing.